So hello, and I thought today, why don't I show you the electric Zoe, the Renault Zoe electric. And I've just done this video and I was wearing trousers and I was so hot, so I ran upstairs and changed to my shorts. So let's see how this goes. So this is the Zoe electric, and it has it's actually I'm a big electric fan, so straight away I'm really interested in all electric cars, but in particular the Zoe, because I have driven this car and I do like it very much. It's a very, what I would say, good value, very good quality for the money, the cost of this thing. In terms of its usability, its utility, I think it's very, very good. And if we quickly walk up to the boot there, it's a nice large boot, although it's probably the same sort of size as any normal four-door hatchback type. And that red bag contains the faster charging cable, and these are just shopping bags for the supermarket. But the four doors is very good. I do find those very useful, very handy. These days I think people do like the having four doors on a car, and maybe it's a saloon with a boot or a hatchback like this, but the doors are very, very useful, and you can probably see the leg room there. It is very good. I have to say, as long as you're not very tall, if you're above 6'2", you might find that your head does rise above and hit the very top, because the seat is a little high, but if you're below the height of 6 foot, you are going to be very comfortable in the back of this. And those chairs are fully back, I think, so you can see that we've got some good leg room there. It's one of the things that I thought about this right at the beginning was it is very comfortable. The seats are lovely, and these are the box standard seats that come with the base models, I believe. They are very, very nice. The well for your feet there is lovely, and the passenger side dashboard is very helpful. And this ledge here, you can put your keys, mobile phone, sandwich, that type of thing. It's very, very good. And there's a little tray for your key and bits and pieces here, and these coffee location here to put your travel coffee, that's very, very useful. And there's a little department here to put your coins and things for shopping. But it's very, very good. But anyway, I didn't mean to start there, but I ended up doing so that's fine. And yeah, I mean, I'll put the bits and pieces down in a moment, but let's take a quick look. So this Zoe has, I believe when it was purchased, it has the optional extra of having the fast charge capability added to it. So this is the, I believe, CCS fast charge 50 kilowatts charge point. Normal chargers, you simply use the top plug. That's the European standard, and you close it like that, and to and to bring the Renault logo door closed, that's how you would do that. But I shall leave that open just for the moment in case I come back there, because I wanted to show you the electric motor. Now, at first sight, you instantly think, oh, that's obviously a normal petrol motor. But when you take a look, because this looks like a carburettor, and I think that might be the equivalent, but I imagine it's more to do with cooling the car, or maybe it's the heat extractor. But yes, on the face of it, that looks like a petrol car, but it isn't. That's the electric motor and the management system wrapped around it, and everything in orange is the power delivery and the cabling for the voltage and the high voltage, high amps to the motor. Now, some people might think, hold on a second, we have a car battery here, and we sure do. So people might not know, but electric cars still have a 12-volt battery. And I must admit, I thought that was strange myself, because I thought surely you could simply take the mains, the power to the car from the main battery, but you don't. They still have a car battery, so that's pretty cool, huh? I suppose it helps if the battery for the motor is flat. I imagine it's like being in a petrol car. You've still got power from the 12-volt battery that is there. But I know that's a little interesting. I must admit, I do find it interesting myself. And what I will do is I will close the charge point here, because I've just thought I'll close the bonnet. Now, on a Tesla and some other electric vehicles, obviously the front is a frunk. It's also a trunk, because there is space and the way it's been built. But I think because the Zoe is more of a compact car, the actual motor takes the same place, the same location as a petrol engine. So that's why we've got the front end of this car spacing organised, and all the heating, the management system, everything else is in there, and the quality of it looks very good. And I should say that this Zoe is 2020, so I believe it's coming up for 3.5 years of age. Towards 4. So this is 3.5 years. It has been used a lot. It also has done some long journeys, and I'll talk about that at the end. But what I will do right now is close the bonnet. There you go. So you'll see the Zoe looks come through there. I think the Zoe looks really nice, actually. It's one of the things that I like about this car, is the way it looks. And if I stand here, you can probably really feel that teardrop. If I come to the side, you can see the teardrop design there. And I believe, I understand that makes it very aerodynamic, or reduces the drag. So this is an aerodynamic style of body shell, this teardrop. But I'll close the doors in a second. But I wanted to show you the cockpit, the helm's position, the driving seat, and the doors, because the door buttons and switches here are very nice quality. The speaker grille is lovely. This handle's very nice, and the spacing here for drinks and sandwiches and rags and things, that's very nice. The footwell is lovely. This fitted carpet, and of course you've got the electric signature of one single pusher in the middle for your brake, then the accelerator at the side there, and then a footrest here. The footwell is lovely. The buttons, the feel of them, the way they operate is very quality. One of the things I thought when I first looked at this was how nice the quality feel of the buttons was. The steering wheel, if I just zoom out there, the steering wheel is lovely, the way that everything feels here. And also you've got this polished, contrasting part of the steering wheel. That's very nice. And I wonder if I can power up whilst I've got the camera. Let me see if I can. Yeah, okay. It should have powered up there, so maybe you can see the display. So that's one of the displays, and it's very clear, although because it's very sunny right now, the camera might not be picking it out. But the display is very nice. There's 3 displays to choose from, and you grab the settings over here and you're able to select those. Now also the cabin temperature selectors, they are fabulous. You switch on the air conditioning and the fan in the middle. The one on the left is the temperature gauge. I mean, literally you have everything you need and nothing you don't. And that display is the perfect size. You can plug the sat-nav from your phone into that display, and that is super. So I think the cockpit and the steering wheel, you can see that the steering wheel isn't fully square. It's sort of flat here. Sorry, fully round. It's flat here and flat there. I don't know what they call that. Is it a racing style of Steering wheel, I don't know, but the steering wheel's lovely, and the gears here, the selectors, they're very nice. So I have to say, one of the things about this car is the quality of the internals, the driving position, the gear selector feels very, there's a lovely haptic feel to it. You can really feel what the gear knob is doing, although really it's just a selector for the motor and reverse. That's very good. Obviously an automatic handbrake. I think these days every car has automatic handbrakes. But I have to say, the internals, the cockpit of the car and the back seat is really a winner. If you're bothered or you're concerned about electric cars, or the Zoe in particular, with respect to legroom and what it feels like to be inside, that is really delightful. And of course, I suppose many people these days will have been for a drive or a test drive in an electric, and you know, one of the characteristics is that they drive very, very well. But actually I will close that now, because I realise I haven't given you a good profile view. I shall just close that there. It's quite a nice looking car, in my opinion. And I think this, once again, this was almost the basic model. It definitely had an optional extra to speed up the charging. And I believe this is the 52 kilowatt battery version. So it gives you a range of 350 kilometers, which is about 250 miles, which today is really the very basic of what you have to have. Hold on a second. You really do want at least 250 miles of range, because being electric, what I have noticed is that when the range gets down to about 50 miles or 80 kilometers or even 50 kilometers, you do start to panic a little bit, especially if you're in the country and you know that you're not so close to a charge point. And that's the model number right there. It's a ZE 50. I'm sure it's got a 52 kilowatt battery pack. So that's a large battery pack for this size of car, but it's not as big as a larger vehicle's battery pack. And it is, giving you that 250 mile range. About 350 kilometers, which I think is really the bare minimum. I think these days you really do need that as a minimal range. And in fact, driving this and knowing the car a little, that's definitely, I think, the main focus of attention or concern with respect to buying an electric car. It's just the range, and I feel that it's 100 miles too short. I think that range should be 350 miles or about 500 kilometers. For some reason, I feel that would be a much better range on a car that you use for everyday use, and perhaps you do go travelling. And this car has driven across the whole of France in one hit, and that requires a number of charge ups, but that's totally fine, because these days after a few hours in the car you're ready for a cup of coffee anyway. So that hasn't really been a problem, but it is something that you do think about, and for some reason I think 250 miles just isn't really enough, but it's definitely the minimum buy-in. I think if this car had a range of less than 250, I think it wouldn't work. It's simply that range just isn't far enough for it to, have a useful function. And yeah, if I was to offer an opinion on, what's the main consideration for this Zoe or even an electric car, it's simply the range. And these days most electric vehicles offer this magic 250 mile range, about 350 kilometers, and as long as you've got that, the whole thing becomes feasible, because these days wherever you are, you are always within 200 kilometers of a charge station, and with your mobile phone, or in some electric cars, the navigation system tells you where the charge points are. You know, that's going to get you to a charge point. Right now, charging up electric cars is a bit cheaper. So you have a business case there. The availability today in 2024 is there. And for me, it gives you an opportunity to check your text messages, grab a coffee, and stretch your legs. Because if you are traveling, you're going to do that anyway. So the charge part of it, I think today in 2024 that's been addressed, and I think we have an infrastructure now that is providing the charge capability, you know, that we really do need. Anyway, that is the Renault Zoe, and it is a really good car, I have to say that. I have driven a few electric cars, and this is definitely, in terms of value for money, it has to be the best or one of the best. Anyway, there you go, the Renault Zoe electric.